Hi fans of high quality entertainment. Now I think this is going to be a pretty long video because I have about 9 or 10 things to talk about. So please, I hope most of my viewers watch the whole video when they have the time. If you don't have the time right now, come back later, okay? And watch the whole video. And then leave me a comment below. Anyway, this CD I'm holding up is blurred at the moment, if I remember to blur it. And probably the last thing in the video is going to be me talking about this. This is an album I bought years ago on vinyl, and I hated it. And, then I went from vinyl to CDs, so of course I never had it anymore. But one day I picked it up on CD. I still hated it. And I think I might have even bought it more than once through the years, trying to like it and just failing every time. I made a video on my main channel 2 or 3, 4 years ago. No, I guess it was last year. But I've done more than one video saying this is the worst album I've ever heard by an artist I like. But I have a new opinion of it. Good or bad, you will see at the end of the video. Don't skip ahead. Anybody still watching? Okay, first up, as some of you know, I lost my cat Mittens a couple of weeks ago, and I'm still honestly mourning her loss because I don't have any cats anymore. But I don't want to go on and on about it. But I just wanted a little update. The animal hospital that took care of Mittens and Jinx has always been so kind to me, and there's been a couple of times I've needed them to see the cats like on the day, and they're busy, but they make time for me. And on that day with Mittens, having to sadly put her down, I didn't want, that they're closed on the weekends. I didn't want her suffering through the weekend, so thankfully they got me to get her in on that day, and it was a very sad day. Anyway, after Jinx passed away, they sent me a really nice card, personalized, and they also sent me a print. I didn't know they were going to do this, and then Molly framed it for me. That's Jinx and her cute little nose, and her cute little paw. And as you can see how tiny it is compared to Mittens that's coming up. And so they just sent me this a couple of days ago in the mail. A sympathy card, and like Molly was saying, that actually looks like Mittens. And there's the card, personalized. It's like a typical card there, but then if you want to pause to read that. And then they wrote like I said, a personalized note, which I thought was really sweet. Mittens was lucky to have you in her life to take care of her and love her. We know she was so important to you and so loved. We are sorry for your loss of your friend. Take care of yourself, the Hillcrest team here in Trenton, Ontario. So, and obviously when I first read that, I broke down again, still going through the emotions. And here is, I'll just, there's more than one, I'll just show you one of each. This is, that's Mittens' nose. Look at that cute little nose. And yeah, there's more than one here. And as you know, she was a polydactyl cat, so she had 6 toes on each paw. I think on one of them she almost had a 7th paw. A little messy, but you get the idea how big her paws were. And one, two, three, yeah, there's 6 that you can count, 6 toes on there. Okay, so as some of you know, I have chronic pain. I've been suffering with it for years, and nothing's worked. Yesterday, my buddy Glenn Calloway from the basement, because you need a driver for the procedure they're going to be doing, because you're kind of loopy after the procedure. I'm always loopy. Anyway, my buddy Glenn drove me to Kingston and back. I got to see his new home, part of his new home, and very impressive, his new layout, his basement. And it was just nice to be with my buddy Glenn for the day, even though I had to pay him gas money. Do you believe that? Yeah, and he took it. I sent him gas money through my bank account, and he grabbed it right away. I said, yeah, what a friend. And then, after going to the pain clinic, I offered to take him out for lunch. And you know what? He agreed to it. I had to buy him a large sub. No, we had a great day yesterday. It was kind of uplifting to get out. And we also went to it's like a pawn shop, I guess. It's called Chumley's. There's one in Belleville, Ontario. And there's a huge one in Kingston, Ontario. That's where we were. And so I picked up, I had this before. I don't know why, you know, if CDs sit in there for years and years, I don't play them. I usually sell them at a pawn shop and get other things or get cash for it. But I'm glad I got this again. I'm going to keep it this time. The Beatles, live at the Hollywood Bowl. I listened to it again last night. It's been a few years. It's great. Really enjoyed it. The Beatles were great live. And speaking of Glenn Calloway, tomorrow he's coming over here, I think sometime tomorrow, and we're going to do finally a CD exchange, but it's only going to be, I think, 3 CDs each. You know, because we already have so much to listen to. And as you know, I've become a huge fan of the Beatles. Yeah, of the Beach Boys. And I'm going to be giving him, well, first of all, he wants to hear the new John Anderson CD. And so I said to Glenn, well, I'll include it as part of the CD exchange. But I'm not going to. I'm just going to lend him this because I know he's going to love it. It is so good. And so that's not going to be part of the CD exchange. And I can just listen to it on Spotify while he borrows this. And I also am planning to do a ranking of this album. And maybe Glenn can join us in a couple of weeks with the Prog Corner and a couple of other YouTube channels. So stay tuned for that. If you love Yes, you will love this new John Anderson solo album with the band Geeks. So at the end of this video is the worst album I've ever heard. I bought again. I think some of you know what it is. And I was, you know, at the pawn shop. They have all these like thousands of used CDs. And I was looking for more Beach Boys CDs. I didn't find anything there that I don't already have. But I got a Brian Wilson, my second Brian Wilson solo album. I just wasn't made for these times. And when I bought it, I didn't know if it was one of his stronger solo albums or one of his weaker. So what's funny is I listened to music at night, and this was part of what I was planning to listen to, but I wasn't in any hurry. It's like I wasn't, even though I love the Beach Boys so much, this was Brian Wilson's solo, right? And so I was thinking, I don't know if it's going to be that good or not, And I finally listened to it last night, and I was seriously blown away. So I highly recommend this if you haven't heard it. If you love the Beach Boys, this is just amazing. And then I've got the Beach Boys Pet Sounds, which I think Glenn Kellaway... What I'm going to ramble just for a second more. For me right now, I consider Sparks more of a duo instead of a band. But right now, and I don't think it's going to change, I consider the Beach Boys my second favorite band after the Beatles. And so I'm not sure yet which three Beach Boys CDs I'm going to be giving to Glenn. But I'm thinking of Sunflower, Surf's Up, Brian Wilson's solo album, even Pet Sounds, but I'm not sure about that. Smiley Smile, Carl and the Passions, and Holland, Friends in 2020. And let me just say one more thing. The Beach Boys Love You. I never realized what a excellent, fun, crazy album this is. The first time I played it all the way through, I think I did a Does This Album Suck for this on my other channel a year or two ago. And at the end I said it didn't suck, but it's not like I was, I thought it was the most amazing album. And so when I did buy this, the first time I played it, I thought, it's good. It's a little crazy, but I love it now. I think it's very underrated. So I'm thinking of this one too for Glenn. So much stress. And just one other quick thing about Sparks. If you're interested in what other YouTubers think of Sparks, check out Morris Gautreaux. He's doing Sparks album reviews for all of the month of September, and I'm really enjoying those. So if you're a Sparks fan, please check out Morris's channel. It'll be here somewhere. I think he's doing Pulling Rabbits Out of a Hat today. So for my health update about my chronic pain, I'll just post the message I posted on Facebook here, and you can pause the video if you want to read it instead of me rambling for another 5 minutes. In other news, some of you might remember my channel I had for over 18 years, Canadian Studmuffin. That's what it was called. Now I changed the name here to the Canadian Studmuffin. So that main channel can be monetized again as of this Sunday. I have to reapply, and I think I have to show YouTube how I edit videos after 18 years. But so I'm just letting everyone know I am going to try and monetize it again, but I'm not returning to that channel with new uploads. Most of the new videos will be here. I think I need to post maybe something on my other channel, maybe once every few weeks, just to show that, I'm keeping it alive. But, all of my old videos will always hopefully be there for you to check out, and hopefully they're monetized, so, And I've been doing a Patreon channel, album and song reactions, for over a year now. And I just did a reaction to my 100th, that's right, 100th full album review. And so the list is here, and there's this new thing on Patreon where people that aren't Patreons can buy a collection, and I have it set at $10. And so with if you want to buy my collection of album reviews, there's 100 there now, and there's going to be more. You can listen to all of the album reactions, or the ones you're interested in. And the other thing that's a collection now, once again for $10, and you can listen to everything, and there's going to be more coming up. It's the Studmuffin radio show, which I have been doing, trying to do weekly, but with my cats passing and all that, I kind of slowed down a bit. But there's quite a few radio shows there now, and I really love doing those. And I'm also thinking, this is a big announcement, I'm thinking of possibly in the new year stopping the album and song reactions and just doing possibly like a weekly radio show for an hour or maybe even two, just playing all of the songs all of the songs I love throughout my years, and having having a fairly low price for you to listen to it on Patreon, maybe $5 per month or whatever, and hopefully I get a lot of patrons for my radio show. Let me know what you think of that. And let's end this with what you've been waiting for, at least a couple of you. Yeah, I would say this, of all of my favorite artists, this album I bought back in the day of vinyl is the most disappointing album I've ever bought in my life, from an artist I love. And I basically hated it. And I stopped buying his albums. He kept making albums, and I never bought anymore. I was just totally turned off by him at that point in time, in the mid-'80s. And so I didn't have it as part of my collection of this artist for probably 5 years or so. And I saw it at the used record store yesterday at a good price, and I bought it. I figured, what? I'm going to give it one more chance because he's such a great artist overall. That's right, it's Frank Zappa's Thing Fish. And then Glenn, who has this too and doesn't like it, when I told him I bought this, he says, I would have given you my Thing Fish for free. That sounds funny, I know. But yeah, this was a 3 vinyl album set when it came out, and I was so excited when I bought it. 3 albums of Frank Zappa. And like I said, I hated it. But last night, now, here in Ontario, Canada, tomato soup is legal. I've mentioned this before. And I have chronic pain and, going through a depression also with my cats passing. Occasionally, I have some tomato soup while listening to music. I don't go crazy, but it enhances the music. It seriously does. Tomato soup. And there's different brands of tomato soup you can buy. But anyway, seriously, I wasn't planning to listen to all of this last night. But I put it on, and I started to actually, seriously enjoy it. Tomato soup or no tomato soup. I listened to that's my laundry. I listened to the whole album, 2 CDs, probably about 90 minutes of music. And it's like a Broadway show, and it's crazy, it's over the top, lots of vulgar language, warning you about that. I can handle it. I'm not a big fan of vulgar language, but when it comes to Frank Zappa, expect anything with him. And it's never going to be my favorite Frank Zappa album, but I'm just saying, once again, I really like this album now. I'm going to listen to it again. Probably not tonight, but in the next few days again. So I apologize to Frank Zappa, and even his the albums before that. I was starting to kind of lose interest in him with Ship Arriving Too Late to Save a Drowning Witch and The Man from Utopia. I love those albums now. You know, it took me a few years, but it just shows you the genius. I think, along with Brian Wilson, Frank Zappa was a musical genius. So, and I do understand Glenn Kellaway seriously not liking this. He will never like it. I understand that. But with the Beach Boys, I'm going to say more tomorrow with our album exchange, but I'm very serious about this. I'm serious about music. It really does affect me in a good way, especially when I need it. And I played a lot of Beach Boys music lately. For me, it's very heartwarming and kind of spiritual. And so I'm just hoping, you know, Glenn Kellaway seriously connects with whatever I give him. This is going to be, for me, it's the most important album exchange ever. I don't care, you know, he doesn't mind Sparks. He's not a fan of them, though. I don't care. But I want him to appreciate the Beach Boys more than he does now. And so it's going to mean a lot to me if he does. And I think I'm going to be hurt if he says, no, I didn't like it. So thanks for watching, and sorry for rambling, but I would love your thoughts on everything I've talked about here. Bye.